Okay, so we're back here for part 2. How far are we now? 19 nautical miles from top of descent. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do some pre-landing descent checks and stuff. So I'm going to turn the altitude down to 2,500 for this flight. Obviously this will be dependent on where you're flying into. So we're going to go to 2,500. That's all good. So 1 minute 11, 1 hour 11 minutes so far in flight. We can see our top of descent here and our decel point, so we will need to slow down at some point using our speed brakes. So the plane now is starting to automatically slow down before we start descending. So let's go into the PA system and do our descent announcement.
Hello again from the flight deck. We are just commencing our descent. Looks like we'll be landing ahead of schedule and the weather conditions are looking good at our destination. We'll be touching down in less than 30 minutes, so do make your way back to your seats. Thanks for choosing to fly with us today, and it's been a pleasure having you on board.
Okay, right, so we are very shortly going to start descending, 9 nautical miles. It's not really too much to do. When we get to 10,000 we'll flick on our lights. Cool. So with this particular model, when you do the descent announcement, obviously it does an announcement, and also when you put on the seatbelts it does an announcement. So probably not the best thing to do them both at the same time, but there we go. I generally don't do both of them, but I did today. So how far? 2 nautical miles, and then the plane's going to start descending. We've still got, time is it now? So 53. So we've got about 18 minutes before we arrive at our runway. So the plane is starting to slow down now. So basically our descent speed that we got programmed in here, that's what the plane has slowed down to, and obviously as we start to nose down to descend, the speed will go up slightly eventually. So let's go back onto legs. Right, so again, not much to do at the moment until we get to 10,000 feet. So I'll be back with you in a short while.
Mic off. Mic on.
Okay, so we are approaching 10,000 feet. At this point we will be turning our lights on. What we can do for now is turn on our engines to continuous. Double check our altitudes all set, that's all good. So we're just going to be coming into some clouds now, so not really going to be seeing much for a little while outside the windows. I know I said it before, but I actually really like this livery, it's quite cool. Caribbean Airlines. And as my dad's side of the family from Trinidad, it's quite a relevant flight that we're doing today, leaving my hometown. Well, at least my dad's hometown. I was born in England. Right, so I'm just going to bring up my charts quickly. So we're coming through to Sunday. Going to be coming round and then in. So generally when I get to around about 20 nautical miles, I'll do the announcement for prepare for landing. Seatbelt lights, seatbelt signs are on, and let's get some lights on. Actually forgot to do them at 10,000, but that's all good. And let's go turn our position light to probe to strobe and steady. So at some point we're going to get a decel announcement on here telling us to apply our speed brakes to slow down, but so far we're all good. I'm not going to be putting in the QNH, I'll just hit the standard just to go to 2992, but I do normally check the chart to see what the QNH is, but I'm not going to do that today. Okay, we're just going to try and keep it as simple as we can to get the plane on the ground. All looking good. So 20 nautical miles, so let's do the prepare landing announcement.
Cabin crew, seats for landing, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you have just heard, we have approximately 20 minutes to drive it. The captain has now switched on the fasten seatbelt sign. Would you please return to your seats and make sure all your personal belongings are safely put away in the overhead locker or underneath the seats in front of you. Please ensure your seatbelt is now fastened, your table is folded away, your seat back is upright with the armrest down. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, all items must be placed in the overhead locker as the floor area around your seat must be completely clear for landing. This would include any shoes, blankets, pillows or magazines. All electronic devices must be switched off at this time, and if you are using headsets, please remove them now. Once again, may we remind you that mobile phones must remain switched off until the aircraft has arrived at the terminal building and the fasten seatbelt sign is switched off. Finally, please take a moment to remind yourself of your nearest exit.
Okay, so we've got our drag required announcement pop up on our FMC. So we'll just get those speed brakes out. Slow down a little bit. Right, so at this point now what we can do is we can put our anti-skid, we're going to go for setting 2. And I'm just going to double check altitude is set, our course that we're going into is 78, our frequency is 109.3, 109.3. That's all good. And we can do our approach reference and here. So what we're going to do is we're going to be going for flaps 30. So we're just going to hit this button twice. And then that's just going to give us some extra information here. Flaps 30, 128 appeared on this screen. So that's all good. And the speed will be 128 knots that we're going to be landing on. Or landing at, I should say. Okay, looking all good. So once this little pink marker gets up to here, our ticker tape will change to flaps 1. And then it'll just keep letting us know when we need to change. So we've got our standard altitude. So let's hit that. So this is probably the most nerve-wracking part of landing, of the flight I should say, is the landing, because obviously making sure that everything's all done and all set, you kind of making sure, have I done this, have I done that. Obviously lights are irrelevant, that's only for the immersion side of it. It's all of the settings with your
1,000 to go.
frequencies and your courses and whatnot. But we should be good. I trust the computer, although sometimes it does worry me. So what we're looking at for this little magenta diamond in the center, and this diamond, the hollow magenta diamond here will go solid, and then that's going to move down the screen. But once we've lined up, we're going to go for, we've got our ILS here, IBV 78 degrees, corresponds with our course. So now we can hit VOR lock because we've actually got our ILS there, and we can go flaps 1. And we can see our runway just in front there. So now we're going to extend the gears. That's going to slow us down a bit more. And we're going to go flaps 2. And we're going to go flaps 5. And the magenta diamond now is filled out and it's coming down. So let's hit approach. And we're going to go command 2. And we're going to go flaps 10. And let's get our speed down to about 140. So at this point now we're controlling our speed manually, remembering that we want to be coming in at 128 knots. So we want to go flaps 15. So I literally don't need to look at the runway because I'm trusting all of the gauges here. So I'm going to bring the speed down now to 128. Still looking at this here for this little ticker tape to move up. Go flaps 25. Okay, these are locked here. This will then change to land 3 as it just done then. And we're going to go flaps 30. Double check anti-skid is set. We need to arm our speed brake. And that's us all good to go. So now we can just pretty much go out of the plane and watch the landing. I'm going to do one final check. Gears are at 30. Speed brake is armed. Not all the way back, just armed. Speed's at 128. Gears are down. Anti-skid is on. Lights are all on.
500.
And we're at 500. There's the runway. Again, trusting the computer and the autoplane. Now the only times that I've ever had this not work is when I've had a trouble with the frame rates dropping really low, and it's obviously timed out kind of. But as you can see, my frame rate's up in the high 60s, so should be good. So I'm not touching anything, just letting it come in nice and easy. There we go. So as it touches down, speed brakes will come up. And all I'm going to do now is hit reverse thrusters. Speed brakes can come back down, and hitting the brakes, taking reverse thrusters off, and taxiing around. So that is how we land the plane. And then obviously at this point now I would go through all of the post-landing procedures. I would generally turn on the APU on the way down as well, just so that that starts spinning up, but we're not going to go through all of that. The main thing is, or the main purpose of the video is obviously the first one to get you up in the air and the second one to get you on the ground. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you can have a great flight later on today. See you later.